Hello again, everybody. Dave Kells here with Whitman Advisory and the Independent CPA Firm Podcast, your source to thrive in today's market. Coming to you today, poolside at the AICPA Engage Conference in Las Vegas. I have with me a very special guest, Managing Partner Brian Lang of SSC Advisors. Hello, Brian.
Hello, Dave. How are you?
Thanks for coming over here and have a conversation.
Absolutely.
I didn't pull you away from any deep sessions, did I?
No, but always wonderful to come and sit poolside and have a conversation with you about the profession.
That's right. Why don't you give our listeners a little background on yourself and the firm?
You bet. I'm Brian Lang. I'm the CEO of SSC CPAs Advisors. We're a firm located offices in Kansas and Oklahoma. One of the unique things about us is we're a 100% ESOP-owned CPA firm. So I'm very excited to have this conversation with you as we've clearly made a commitment to staying independent as an ESOP-owned firm.
We love it, and our listeners want to hear more about that for sure. So why don't you take us through kind of that thought process, the journey? Where did you start? How'd you get where you are right here?
You bet. So our ESOP journey started, it was actually before my time. Our founding partner back in the late 90s when CBiz was doing acquisitions and roll-ups, and he was a member of the Kansas State Board of Accountancy, got introduced to the alternative practice structure model as part of the CBiz roll-ups and thought, well, if they could do that with a private company, with publicly traded company, why can't we do that with an ESOP? So he introduced the ESOP in 1995 to the firm. So we're in our 27th year of being an ESOP. Originally, we started with a minority ownership stake for the ESOP, and throughout the years, it's kind of transitioned and evolved. And we've learned about retiring partners out through that. And then finally, at the end of the year in 2025, we made the commitment to move to 100% ESOP. So we bought out the remaining shares of the remaining shareholders and made the full transition.
Amazing. So I just learned that. I didn't think you were that long into the journey. That's amazing. Yeah. So some forward thinkers back then. And tell the audience, tell me, how does that set you apart now from both a client perspective and a staff perspective?
Well, it's been a long-held belief at our firm that the benefits of ownership should remain with the people that are doing the work, the people that are showing up every day, taking care of clients. Yeah. Should be rewarded with an equity position in their efforts over time. So
and that resonates?
Yeah, we really has resonated well. I think the move to 100% ESOP has really accelerated that.
Sure.
You know, I think we kind of operate in this hybrid model for 25, 26 years, and at times there were just some differences there. But I think as we've made that transition, it's really amped that up, where when we have conversations with the team, we have the firm-wide meetings, we're really having shareholder meetings. It just has every employee of the firm there. You know, we've also transitioned it to where people become a participant in the ESOP the day they start working for SSC. We want everybody to have a stake in it. We want everybody to be a part of it and to share in that journey.
Great. I mean, obviously gaining in popularity. I'm hearing more and more firms. I know some New York-based firms are ESOP-based. How does that fit with the concept of your own M&A strategy?
Yeah. So we're on an M&A. We're looking to grow with other like-minded individuals. We want to partner with other CPAs in the profession that want to take advantage of this model, or that may be looking to make a transition, that may be considering private equity, that may be considering any number of things. But what we're really looking for is we're looking for those practitioners that want to join that model, that want to have their employees taken care of in the future, that want to have their employees realizing the benefits of their efforts going forward. So there's a lot of people in the profession right now that are looking for something, and they're exploring options, and we want to position ourselves as a way that is an alternative.
The overall concept of, again, the independent firms I talk to, underlying thought process there, control your own destiny. So that's at the foundation of everything you're talking about.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So M&A journey, I say that you kind of have to run a similar playbook to the PE group. So you've got to kind of fund the process. You're still got to make investments in people, investments in technology. Can't stay still. So where do you sit with all that now?
Well, so one of the benefits to being 100% S-Corp owned ESOP is that we get the tax deferral on all of our earnings. So that helps with our capital strategy in order to do those things. You know, I think one of the things that people worry about in an ESOP, no matter what, you still have to be competitive with your salaries. Even at what you would consider a partner level in a traditional style CPA firm, you have to be competitive with what people can make elsewhere. So you have a lot of the same concepts. It's just a different model of running the firm.
Absolutely. Talk about the firm a little bit outside of the ESOP. So specialization, what makes you different from a client looking for work, a staff person looking to work for you? Where are you geographically? You mentioned where the offices are, but I mean, you're covering probably way more than that.
We do. We have clients across all 50 states. We have a heavy presence in construction, manufacturing, healthcare, and not-for-profit work. Those are our four primaries. We do work for all kinds of companies. We're really helping business owners plan for their wealth accumulation. How do you manage the value of their business? How do they treat their business as a separate asset class? And how do we put all that together and build a total financial plan for business owners? So we really try to lean into the planning aspect of things. Geographically, we're Northeast Kansas, Salina, Topeka, Meriden, Lawrence, and Overland Park. And then recently, as of the end of the year, we merged with another firm that has 3 locations in Oklahoma, Tulsa, Norman, and Perry, Oklahoma. And so we have 8 office locations now across Kansas and Oklahoma.
Nice.
Yeah.
And let's talk about staff. 2 things. Where are you on the spectrum of I need you in the office 5 days a week versus fully remote? And if you are, where are you on the remote scale? And do you have staff that are outside of your geography there?
We do. I'd say primarily we're mostly in office. We have people that, they'll work a day or 2 a week from home. But I'd say the norm for our firm is almost everybody's in the office. Yeah. We do have some fully remote staff. Typically, those are people that have worked with us and relocated to different areas in the country from wherever their life led them, but they didn't want to leave SSC. So they've stayed with us.
Sure. Listen, I'm a little older than you, so I was the in-the-office person.
Yes.
First one in, last to leave, kind of how I was raised, all that kind of stuff. I find value in the impromptu conversation at the water cooler, getting a cup of coffee. Hey, I got a quick question. Let's walk with me for a second kind of thing. Invaluable.
Couldn't agree more. I think that as a staff person, your first 4 years in your career, you learn from those that you're around. You just do.
Yeah.
I think when you're at a senior level and you're overseeing staff, you need to be in the office to interact with those people because that's how they learn. We want people, we're really big on flexibility. People need flexibility in their lives and need to have the freedom to do things. But in general, our culture is primarily in office for that reason.
I'm hearing a trend. I'm New York City based, so you got all sorts of things going on there. But I'm hearing a trend of new college graduates are kind of looking for an office environment. I think they're kind of done with the pajamas in their bedroom, taking a Zoom call. I mean, and again, how do you onboard somebody right out of school?
I can't figure that out.
Yeah.
The people I talk to at that level, they want to come to work. They want the camaraderie. They want the water cooler conversations. Sure. They want to feel part of the team on a day-to-day basis and go to lunch with their counterparts.
Yeah. And then how about this? Let's talk about training of staff or even partners, training of staff, and not just the compliance type stuff, but business development, getting out and networking. Are you a big proponent of a junior staff sitting in with a partner on that client meeting to, again, watch and learn?
Yeah, we've really worked hard. Let me back up for a second, and then I'll get to that if that's okay. So we've done a few things that are a little bit different than what I consider to be normal CPA. So we've moved to 5 or 6 years ago, we moved to a corporate style of governance where we have a CEO, we have an executive team, we have a board of directors, which would be what you would normally consider to be the partners in a traditional model of a CPA firm. So we've moved our governance structure to a corporate style, and we've also moved to a line of service model, right? Which is probably a little unusual for a firm of our size to operate that way, but our lines of services, tax, consulting, assurance, and client accounting services, everything filters down through that. The training, the development, the hiring, everything comes from the line of services. And so we don't operate on an office by office basis. Most of our managers will have employees in other locations, and most of the time our employees, their manager is in a different location. I think that since COVID, the ability of teams to have that interaction has really, really ramped that up. But what we found is we're able to, with 8 offices, we're able to hire the best possible people in the geography they want to be. We're not limited to, I need to find a person in this community.
Right.
And as we serve, some of our markets are not major metro areas. And so, sometimes you may find the right person and sometimes you may not, but we still have to take care of the clients.
Right.
So It's been a recruiting advantage for us to have that and to have that model.
Sure.
But our training and development comes from the line of services.
Gotcha. And then, so do you lead with line, go to market with service, and then industry underneath that? How are you built?
Yeah, for the most part. We have, so the way we service client relationships is through an account manager model, right? So all of our managers and above have a list of clients that they're responsible for. And then we have at least 2 individuals on every single account. So client always has multiple points of contact. There's a team serving them. And then that whole team goes to those meetings. That's how I remember back when I started.
Sure.
I learned as a staff person by sitting in meetings and listening and observing.
Just listening.
Yeah, learning how to talk to people, learning how to hold those conversations, learning how to be a part of them.
Gears a little bit on technology, right? Again, with the concept of can't stand still. So talk to me about what you've been doing on the technology front to kind of make your process more efficient, provide more client services.
Right. So that's I can answer that question today and tomorrow will be out of date.
There you go.
It's moving so fast. Most of our, we want people to have the ability to work anywhere and everywhere. There's this constant push towards cloud-based, those types of things.
Yeah.
We've made a lot of shifts in our practice management software, SharePoint, trying to put those tools in place to make it easier for teams that may not be geographically sitting in the same office location to be able to collaborate and work in real time.
Right. Let me talk about how you run the organization do you run the organization from a metrics based at all? You pulling down, individual statistics, utilization, realization, resource planning. I mean, how you looking at
all of that is available in real time in our practice management system. And quite frankly, as an ESOP, we have that opened up. We don't have any security restrictions in our practice management system.
Right.
So all of our team can look and see where Brian is at on his charged hours compared to his goal and vice versa. And they can benchmark themselves against their peer group. And
that's refreshing because I've been in firms that were very closed from a transparency standpoint. And clearly that's not the right way to do things. The more transparent you are with everybody, but normally it's partner group.
Right.
You filtered it all the way down to every owner of the firm. That's amazing.
Well, and the way we look at it is as an ESOP, it's our company. We're all shareholders.
Yeah.
Let's share the information.
Sure. Totally believe in that.
Yeah.
I love it. Everybody's talking AI, so we got to talk AI a little bit. So give me your 10,000 foot view of what the hell's going on.
Oh my gosh. It's an amazing technology. I think that the hard part in our profession is filtering through the noise to find the things that are actually going to make an impact. There's so much noise and there's so much new product. We're here at the Engage conference and the number of vendors here that I've not seen before, but have wonderful technologies. It's amazing. And then you wonder, how's that going to filter out? Who's going to survive? How's it going to continue to evolve? And you don't know.
As a leader of a firm, an independent firm, you've got to weigh, obviously, the cost benefit of the technology. But again, is the vendor going to be here in 3 years? When I was at firms, I couldn't commit disruption.
I think you hit the important part. So when I look at this, there's obviously an upfront capital investment in the technology, but the true cost of it is the implementation.
Oh, absolutely.
It's the amount of time we spend teaching, training, implementing, getting it up and running to where it's helpful. And, you've got to, depends on what you're doing, but you may have a year-long cycle before it hits that break-even point.
Oh, yeah.
It begins saving you time. And if that's the case, is that technology still going to be relevant 12 months from now?
I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I don't know too many CEOs, managing partners that have an appetite for ripping something out, right, as you're flying the plane. Right. So what do? You build some workarounds, you build some automation, you bring in some other add-ons to kind of make things a little more efficient. And that's how you grow it. I mean, it's really tough to go rip out an entire practice management system, rip out an entire tax law.
It's painful. And I think one of the things I like to do, and I'm not sure about other leaders, but I really encourage our younger team members to stay current on the technology that's out there and to decide what's going to be helpful to them, what's going to help them on the front lines. It's one thing for me to sit in my chair and say, I think we need to do this, but I think it's another when the team when it comes up organically through the team, they say, we think this could really be helpful.
And along those lines, you've got committees that research things and report back to senior management and gives them, I used to call an ownership stake, but there are owners, but gives them real, meat into what the firm's direction is going to be.
Right. And it's good for them. As CPAs, we all need to be entrepreneurial.
Yeah.
And so that's part of that learning process is how do our staff members and our seniors learn to be entrepreneurial and look at those decisions and make those decisions.
Yeah. So sounds like culturally pretty good organization to work
We
for.
try.
Yeah.
To me, one of the statistics I'm most proud of is obviously you have turnover in that 0 to 3 range. People entering the profession decide public accounting is not for them. But once people hit 3 years and above, our retention rate is twice the industry average.
That's amazing. Yeah.
They stick around, and that's wonderful.
And so along those lines, tell me about moving up the ranks and promoted to partner. Something you encourage, something that's been happening.
Yeah, absolutely. It's we don't have partner. We don't have that title. So
right. You don't have that title.
No, we don't have that title. We have directors, right? People that sit on the board of directors. And we want people to move up, and we want to encourage that. We use a core competency model. And so the skills we expect at different levels are all published and available for everybody to see. And when someone hits the level where they've mastered the skills and are able to do the next job, we promote them.
Right. Director, is that equivalent to a partner in a non-ESOP firm?
Correct.
Wow, interesting. Another thing I learned today.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's great. I want to touch a little bit on offshoring. What's your thoughts on it? Are you using it?
We use it. We have 3 full-time team members in India.
Good.
Those same 3 people have been with us. I think we're in our 3rd year of it now.
Okay.
So we use it some, and they're with us full-time. They're members of our team. I think I was probably a little hesitant at first. I felt like it was going to be offshoring would be a piecemeal type thing, but these 3 team members that we have that are physically located in India, they're just like any of our other team. They do great work.
Right.
They develop, they learn.
What level of work, what type of work they do?
So we have 2 staff people and 1 senior, primarily tax and accounting services. We have a pretty heavy accounting services practice.
Did you ever consider offshoring some of your internal kind of back office accounting, maybe some administrative?
We would absolutely consider it, but we haven't.
Right.
Haven't
Okay.
yet.
Any other guidance, thoughts, suggestions for an independent firm that wants to grow? If they're on a journey, maybe they've hit a ceiling at the moment. Any thoughts and wisdom you could give?
I think it's a constant evaluation. So as an independent firm, and I really think it's any firm, you've constantly got to be looking towards the future. You have organic growth, you have inorganic growth through M&A, those types of things, and you've constantly got to be looking for those opportunities.
Right.
I feel that, as firm owners, we have to look beyond. I feel that our profession traditionally has looked at annual rates of return, meaning, what's our profitability, what's our profit per partner. Those have been traditional metrics, and I really think we need to flip that and be looking at what's our enterprise value.
Yeah.
What's the stock price? How are we growing the enterprise value? Because the decisions we make today, we can make decisions today that will boost profitability in the short term, but I don't know that I agree with that in running a business for the long term.
Right. So a lot of firms struggle with succession planning. You've had it kind of built in, sort of?
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, we're a younger firm.
Right.
We have a lot of younger team members that are on that journey, and it'll be great firm-wide leaders. They're great leaders in their respective service areas today, and are making that journey to become great firm leaders. But we're always looking for great people.
Right.
We're always looking for great people.
And would that be expansion of service lines if you could acquire talent in an area you're not really focused on?
Our M&A strategy is primarily about finding people that want to join and work with us. So that's why we're doing that. We feel that that's a better way to find that next gen talent and to find those niche service areas that we may not be in. I think there was a season 15 years ago where we were looking for client acquisition. And most of our conversations and our M&A conversations today are about, tell us about the talent, and the client side of it is actually coming second because we're looking for the people to join our team.
Right. Yeah, most of the deals I was involved in, I mean, there were nuggets of good clients, right?
Right.
A-tier clients, but most of the deals we did were about the diamonds in the rough of talent. And they're firm leaders now.
Yeah.
You find them in every firm.
Yeah. We had a merger we did at the end of the year, and there were some tremendous people that have come onto our firm and joined our team as a result of that. And I'm really excited for what those people are going to bring to our organization and how they help grow the organization and really help take us to the next level.
That's great. So speaking of that, good segue there. Where's SSC in 5 years? What do you see? What do you see going on as you move forward here?
Well, our goal and my number one job is to continue to grow the stock price and grow the value of the organization for our employee owners. So I see us continuing to grow. I see us expand in geographies. We're constantly looking at other states, looking for places to go where we can find great people and great clients and take this message we have of helping business owners plan successfly for their own exits.
That's a great conversation. I think the firm is going in a tremendous direction. I love the ESOP angle. It's not a novelty,
right?
But it is a little less than the norm, and I think you're leveraging that the right way.
We're trying.
Yeah,
we're really trying.
No, it's great. It's a great conversation. I think many firms, hopefully many listeners, will be interested to hear what you have to say.
Right. The conversations we have with practitioners, they're very interested and they want to understand how it works and the concept.
That's great. I'm sure you're having those every time you have a conversation, you're talking about it. So no, that's great. Well, Brian, thanks you so much for coming on.
You bet.
I appreciate the insight.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. And listeners, thank you for listening. If you thought today's episode was helpful, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.